South Philadelphia police arrived at 20th Market Street about an hour ago to investigate the murder of Nolan Banks, a promising politician running for this year's Senate election. Police have yet to discover the motives behind his murder. South Philadelphia police arrived at 20th Market Street about an hour ago to investigate the murder of Nolan Banks, a promising politician running for this year's Senate election. Police have yet to discover the motives behind his murder, but many people speculate that it's no other than the street vigilante himself, Jake Pierce.
Please, don't kill me. Show me some mercy here.
Mercy? What about my wife and daughter?
Come on, I was only following.
My name is Jake Pierce. For 8 years, I've given my life to serve and protect my country. But in return, I had everything taken from me.
I'm Detective Bertelli from the 22nd District, reporting for duty.
Jake, put your hands up where I can see them.
Melissa, stay out of this!
You must stop this senseless killing.
Detective McDowell speaking.
Joseph, I can't stop Jake. I want to save him.
Calm down, Melissa. I'm at the crime scene right now. It looks like your friend Jake is sending a message to the police. We have to find him before more blood is spilled in our streets.
Law and order has become corrupt. Vigilante justice is the only way to bring the system down to its knees. If no one else doesn't stand up to them, then I will.
Hey, Wrath. I was able to pinpoint Jasmine Mitchell's location.
Remember the pain, and remember the suffering.
What do you mean they're coming after me? I don't get it. How did they find out?
Everyone around you will pay the ultimate price.
I think someone just walked into my apartment.
Jasmine, get the hell out of there right now.
What are you?
Damn it, kid, I'm on my way! High-grade silver nitrate bullets. Something your kind doesn't take lightly. Well, am I right? Vampire?
What is going
Kid,
on
did
here?
you forget? The party was canceled to avoid a potential police raid. Your friend should already know that.
No fucking way. Is he even human?
You're doing?
Jasmine, step away from the window right now!
Damn it! Looks like the police are headed in your direction.
No! Wait! Jasmine!
Only then will you become the man I remember. Hezekiah Drippin.
The Venus Orion Comics universe is officially underway, and now we're taking it even further. The launch of our official website and Patreon marks the next step in building this indie comic universe from the ground up. At VenusOrionComics.com, you'll find character bios, series breakdowns, and the foundation of everything we're building. Supporters on Patreon get access to exclusive Discord channels where you can dive deeper into the lore and interact directly with the creator community. Your support helps fund new issues, pay artists fairly, and speed up development across all 8 series in Phase 1. We're just getting started. Visit VenusOrionComics.com and join the Patreon today to help shape the future of this universe.
Woo! All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. All right. There we go. What's up, Samantha? What's up, Hilarion? What's going on? All right, it's before. 1 second. All right. Let me check this real quick, and then we will get into it. 1 sec. Okay, let me grab this. Let me load this up real quick. What's up, Calvin? What's going on? I'm getting ready in a second. Hold up. Let me grab this. Put this here. Can y'all hear me? All right. Let me bring this up. There we go. I just wanted to pull it out. All right, as I promised to you guys that I will be streaming today. It's Wednesday and it's the evening. I said 6 o'clock, but I was eating dinner. I had a couple other things that I had to handle before I got on stream, so I know it's running a little bit late. So as I said before, you see the title. This is going to be my Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls roster that, you know, it's my dream roster. I wouldn't say dream roster, but I just think more along like a safe roster for the starting roster for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. But before we even get into that, of course, I always got to do my plug. Yo, what's up, Colin? What's going on? My day is going fine, man. How about you? How you been doing? How you been doing? And yeah, so for starters, let's go here real quick. Of course, my YouTube channel, you can definitely check it out. I post a lot of my content over here, of course, Mugenlord. And I cover a lot of gaming content, news, updates. And I've really been getting into doing comic book reviews, more specifically indie comic reviews. I just dropped my first indie comic review today, but you can definitely go check out for yourself. It was David Brinks from Genuine Comics, his comic book called Perfect 10. I did issue 1 review, so you can go definitely check that out. is new. This is a new category or a new type of segment that I added to the YouTube channel when it comes to reviews. And then, of course, I will definitely start doing manga reviews. I'm starting to get into, I'm not really a manga reader, but I'm starting to really get into just reading comics in general. So I've been searching the web for what mangas may gain my interest. I'm not going after mangas that has an anime that's already out. I would much rather watch the anime. So I'm going after like mangas that don't have an anime, you know, so I'm only can get that type of content and entertainment from the manga itself. So if you also have some suggestions for me to go check out as far as indie comics or manga to read, definitely let me know in the comment section or in the chat itself, of course. But as I said before, when it comes to Venus Orion Comics, right here, you go to the website at venusorioncomics.com. You can check out news, information, details regarding, you know, my independent comic book universe and everything. You can check out the characters that I have. When you click on them, it opens up their profiles, so you get to get the knowledge of the characters, get to know them on a personal level before you get a chance to be introduced to some of them when their comic books release or when they finally make their debut on whatever series that they show up in. And of course, you can go to the shop and check out the merch and the comic that you can pick up. As I said before, you can get it digital. Varion Keller's Vampire Killers for only $5. And as I said before, no matter which direction you go, you can get the physical copy right here for $16. And then you can also get the store cover, which is a store variant, for only $20. And as I said before, this is my first comic book ever released this year. Varion Keller's Vampire Killers, successful campaign. This month, we actually begin the development of the pages for Chapter 2, which Chapter 2 is going to release next year. So if you guys are interested in wanting to get into my universe and what I'm trying to establish and build, you can easily go into it just by going digital. $5. It's less than a Happy Meal. So you can go definitely check it out. But if you're interested in what I'm doing, but you're not really a comic book reader, but you want to show some support in some way, you can also, 1 second right here. Let me go pull this up for a second. So I could have swore. There we go. Let me go pull this up real quick for you guys. So yeah, if you want to show some support in some way and you're not really into comics, but you respect what I'm doing and you just want to see and grow and everything like that, you can also support me by you can donate to my PayPal. Any form of donation helps, or you can go join my Patreon for Venus Orion Comics, which I'll post a link right here too as well. Patreon.com/Venus Orion Comics. Yes, by showing support, it helps fund it helps put funding into my comics. Even though I'm paying the comics, I'm paying my artist Jessica to draw my comics, and I'm paying it out of pocket. But it definitely would help in, I guess you say, reduce some of the strain that it has on my wallet if you want to show some support and everything. And as I said before, if you go to the Patreon, I have 2 tiers so far, and it gets you behind the scenes news and information of Venus Orion Comics. I also show you some of the early sketches of my characters. I do lore videos for Venus Orion Comics and everything. So I'll be adding more tiers over time. But the lowest tier is $2. Only show $2 for support if you want to, or go to $5 tier to get the extra lore stuff and breakdowns of Varion Keller's Vampire Killers and even future comic book series in the near future. But as I said before, with your help, it definitely would speed the process of me being able to get these comic books out at a faster rate. And also, there's a lot of characters that you guys would love to see, but this stuff costs money. But you don't understand how much that would help. So if you wanted to go to the Patreon or donate to the PayPal or even buy my comic from my website, definitely go check it out. Yes, definitely just in time. Definitely just in time. He said it has 1 season for anime and likely won't get it season 2, but I would love to see your opinion on My Tiny Senpai. It's a super cute and relaxing franchise. I'll look into it. Like, every anime doesn't click to me, stuff like that. But if it clicks, I'll check it out. He said, I've been reading Lady Death from Coffin Comics. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yep, you're just in time, bro. Just in time. So as I said before, as well, Strike and Keo Tees, my brother's t-shirt company, Strike and Keo. We're stationed in Philadelphia. We have our own steam press machines, and we do custom designs. So we put them on shirts, hats, mugs, hoodies, sweatpants, bathing suits, mouse pads, wallets. We do the whole 9 yards. And you can definitely come to the site. We can also, like I said, we have done a lot of work and custom designs for content creators. We even designed their shirts and their merch. So we've been in the business for over like 5 years now. So if you want to go come check us out, definitely come check us all out. And your first purchase is $5 off. So that's a pretty good steal as well. Our response time is fast. If you go to the site, you can chat with us, or more specifically, my brothers. They'll get to you right away. And if you have a custom design that you want, the more descriptive you are, or the details you give them, or the resources you give them, they can get to it right away. And if you live close by in the Philadelphia area, you can actually come to the studio and pick up your order instead of us having to mail it out to you if you want to do something like that. So if that's something that you want to consider, definitely check it out. Strike and Keo Tees. And also, we do have custom designs on the website that you can actually buy. We have all kinds of other merchandise, original t-shirts, anime tees, cartoon tees, and everything. And we'll be going to J1 Con. Venus Orion Comics will be at J1 Con, and Strike and Keo Tees will be at J1 Con at the end of this month. So yes, yeah, I saw the teaser. Yeah, I saw the teaser. I saw it. Pretty cool, man. And yeah, man. So don't forget to join the Venus Orion Comics newsletter as well. Like I said, it's for free. You can sign up to it, and I send out emails for the newsletter. You get free wallpapers, so that's the perk to it as well. Discount codes for merchandise and everything, and you get first dibs the moment the Kickstarter, any Kickstarter for our backers, for our campaigns. You'll be able to go straight into it right away, because I do have early bird type of tiers and everything to get certain percentages off on certain tiers that we have for rewards in campaigns. So that's pretty much it. Had to get the plug in there. Sorry about that. So we're gonna dive right into tonight's segment, where we're gonna talk about the Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls roster. So let me take this off and share, bring this up. Window. Okay, so put this here. Bring that up. All right, so here we go, right here. As I promised before, this is what we want to do. Now, as far as Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, we know that this this week is the beta, the closed beta for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, and Arc System Works has already started sending out the closed beta keys and everything. And I signed up the moment that they announced the beta. So as history always reveals itself and shows itself, I never really get into these closed betas, no matter, especially when it's the game that I really want to play and I really want to get into and give it a try. It never works out for me at all. I never get into them. So fingers crossed, because people are already getting notifications that they get into the closed beta, and I still haven't received anything. And some of you guys, even in my Discord, has got your code, your closed beta code, and I still have yet to get one and everything. What's up? Devin? What's up, Cavern? No problem. I know I'm starting to stream a little bit late. This, like I said before, we're going to talk about the Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, my roster choices, and everything like that. I definitely want to hear your choices as well. So we're going to dive right into it. And so I found a template off of Google. So it starts off with the base roster, and this base roster template has 30 characters. And the 30 characters for me makes sense, since we're going with a 4. It's supposed to be like a 4v4 or whatever like that. If you check out my video where we talked about that, even though it's a tag, it's more so like a 1v1, just with assists and mechanics added to it. But we have is a 4v4 like advertised from Arc System Works when it comes to this game. So I think for a starting roster, I think 30 will be safe. some people saying go with 40, but we got to be realistic here. We got to ground ourselves into reality. I can definitely see us having a 30 character roster. Devin says, I'm excited for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Yeah, me too, man. I'm excited as well. So, of course, as you see here, we already have the 8 starting characters that we have already seen when we in the trailer. He said, "Oh, we're doing that today." Magneto on the roster. So we already got the 8 characters that was already revealed on the trailer. So these characters are already established. So the next is just to fill in the other characters and the 22 characters. And I have made a selection. Now, my selection is debatable, rather or not that maybe you guys agree with it and everything, but you got to be realistic here, or I'm trying to be more safe than anything because I don't want to go over the top when it comes to this. I think that's why people get disappointed is when they have their expectations set so high because of what they want to see and stuff. So, all right, we're going to dive right into it. So the first character up on this roster to make an appearance is, for me, the Punisher. I think the Punisher is long overdue to make an appearance in a fighting game. He never had the opportunity to be in any Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game. I'm a big fan of the Punisher. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters in the Marvel Comics universe, and I always wanted the Punisher in a Marvel fighting game or a versus game. And I remember where they had a discussion with Capcom about character selection, and Punisher was mentioned, and Marvel had essentially turned it down, or Capcom was essentially saying that they had Chris Redfield. So, Chris Redfield got the grenades, the guns, and everything. So it'd be kind of redundant to have the Punisher when they already have Chris Redfield. So, I mean, after hearing that does make sense. I mean, if you're going to have Chris Redfield, then you're going to, how much more different can you make the Punisher when Chris Redfield already fill in that slot for a human character that relies on a bunch of different weapons and tools and stuff like that. So it makes sense. But the fact is that this is Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, and its Arc System Works. Arc System Works, they can pretty much build from scratch, and I think this would be a perfect opportunity to have the Punisher in here. Long overdue. So the next character in the roster, I selected, and I've chosen the Incredible Hulk. I mean, come on. The Incredible Hulk is an obvious choice. Like, this is the most safest choice. And he's such an iconic character. It just wouldn't make sense to have a Marvel fighting game, but don't have the Incredible Hulk. And I think when it comes to Arc System Works and their gameplay design, and of course with their animations and their art style and stuff, I think the Incredible Hulk is a perfect fit. And he could end up being a fun character for me to actually play, because I didn't really enjoy Hulk's gameplay in the Versus series. It just wasn't fun to me at all. I couldn't get into it. But I believe that Arc System Work can probably do something interesting with him. And another thing that I talked about in my video, where when it comes to Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, is that they have a unique, every character will have a unique a trait or a feature to them with the unique button, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to see what Punisher and a possible Punisher and Incredible Hulk and Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, if they were to make it into the game, what their unique move would be when you press a unique button. I think that'd be awesome to see how that plays out. And I can only imagine how they would let loose. Already seeing these crazy designs, I can't wait to see how they would portray Hulk. So no, Landon, you're not really late. We just started because I did a whole my normal pitch and everything before we start. So you're not really late. You said saw Hulk fought Godzilla in Death Battle and finally won. I mean, Godzilla has nothing on Hulk. I mean, it's a stupid match to begin with, in my personal opinion. Or maybe I'm just ignorant and don't know the lore of Godzilla like that. Hulk was a nightmare to play with. Yeah. My brother Keo enjoyed playing Hulk in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That was one of his mains. And they did a good job with him. I'm not gonna lie, in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but oh man, he was scary once you had that X Factor on him too. All right, so the next character on this roster is Thor. I mean, Thor at this point makes sense. I mean, he made his debut in the fighting game with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And, you know, because of the MCU, I mean, Chris Hemsworth playing as the Incredible Hulk. Then you had the cartoon series, was it Avengers? Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. One of my favorite Marvel, more recent Marvel cartoon series. And I love the portrayal of Thor in that cartoon and everything. And he cemented his spot on a roster, especially when it comes to fighting games. And also, you know, he's also in, you know, Marvel Rivals as well. So he cemented his spot. I can't see a roster without Thor being in the base at this point. I mean, he submitted his spot, and I can't wait to see how Arc System Work is going to portray him and what his unique move is going to be when it's tied to the unique button. Maybe he'll probably throw Mjolnir or something like that, and he could be able to bring it back to him, which will possibly create crazy setups. And you know, and as you throw in the hammer, it brings it when it hits him, it brings the enemy back, or wall bounce, and then do a tag and tag your partner in, and then carry it from there. So I'm looking forward to see how that play out and everything. And some people may argue that you already have Storm with the lightning and stuff like that, and Thor brings that. He's the god of the thunder. So you know, I'm not sure how people may feel about this choice where you already have a character that produces thunder and everything. So let's see. He said Marvel's Kick on 3. Yeah, Hulk was OP. Yo, what's up, Tokon? What's going on? He said, what about Thick Squirrel Girl? Well, you have to wait and see. Who would be the boss of the arcade mode? That's an interesting question too. I don't know. I would like to see if it's a made up character that they mix exclusively for the game. I think that would be pretty cool as well. All right, the next character on the list is Magic, and I started becoming a fan of Magic just recently. Before Marvel Rivals, I wasn't really familiar with the character Magic until I started seeing fan art online. I was watching a comic book a reviewer. He covers comic books like Marvel Comics and DC Comics and stuff like that and everything. And I remember him reviewing one of the X-Men books, and it had Magic in it. It had Magic in it, and I love characters with big ass swords. And then was a female character with a big sword. I think, oh man, it's just awesome. It's just a character that's just a character that's a must have and everything. And then she also got some unique abilities and everything like that and lore. So then she appeared in, was it the Marvel game with the tactics, the strategy game with what's the name of it? Midnight Suns. Then I have Midnight Suns on the PC, and she was also on there as well. And then of course Marvel Rivals, which has the most unique and badass design. So yeah, I would love to have her on the base roster. Now this is just the base roster. You know, they could be whoever character's not on here, they are definitely potential DLC. So let us check it out. Yeah, that's Punisher. Cyclops needs to be in there. Orion got, what about the Juggernaut? You want to wait and see. And then yes, as I said before, with Magic, I am looking forward if she ever makes it into the roster, what her moveset would be like. And I know Arc System Work is going to design the fuck out of her. And I can't wait to see. And especially since it's a Japanese developer and this character has a big sword or Buster sword, I can only imagine how sick her sword would look as a design choice and everything from Arc System Work in there. And I think that'd be pretty cool. And also what her unique ability would be with the unique button. I think that would be that strikes my interest most of all in everything. So to move on, the next character is Venom. Venom is a must. I mean, we got Spider-Man in the roster. It just wouldn't make sense to not have Venom. And if you don't know, when it comes to Venom, the Japanese has a strange liking to the character. They even make him chibi. They make him cutesy. They do all kinds of stuff with Venom, you know, in the Japanese market and stuff like that. So I can't see a roster without you know, him being in it. And I can only imagine how, you know, looking at their history with Guilty Gear and weird like characters like in Blaz Blue, I can only imagine what they can be able to pull off with Venom in the roster. So, and especially I wanted to, you know, wonder what his unique button would be as well. I think that'd be pretty cool. And he said final boss will probably be Thanos or something boring. Shumagorath as the final boss. I think that'd be pretty cool. The Japanese love Shumagorath too. Ryu, what's up? He said, yo, Mugen Lord, personally, I love Miss Marvel, Wavebird, and X-23, but I fear they won't be in there. Who knows, man? They could be possibly DLC. I wouldn't discount them right away. So, oh yeah, Venom's a legacy character and would look beautiful in Tokon. What about Japanese Spider-Man? I don't know, but I see a lot of more like Japanese fan art and more things of Venom than anything. All right, next character, Scarlet Witch. I mean, it's only right to have Scarlet Witch in the roster. She's also another character who has submitted her spot when it comes to video games. Scarlet Witch is as far as lore is concerned, is an interesting character, especially when it comes to the X-Men side of things within Marvel Comics. And her abilities. She is definitely an OP character when it comes to lore. And I would love to see what type of mechanics that she would have. And as I said before, we finally got to see her in a game. And I could be wrong, but it was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. And she was actually a pretty good character. I actually had her in my lineup, in the game as well on Nintendo Switch. So, and then she's also in Marvel Rivals. So she has pretty much earned, you know, her spot. And, you know, because a lot of traction and a lot of eyes in the MCU as well of Scarlet Witch, I think it would be criminal to not have her in the base roster of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. He said, I need to see Daken. He said, this game is going to be great. I hope Gambit will be in the game. X-23 is good. X-23 is my main in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Japanese Spider-Man has a Megazord. Oh, yeah. All right, the next character we have here is Rocket Raccoon. I mean, Rocket Raccoon is another obvious choice for me. I mean, you got it like Japanese with the furries and stuff like that. And he has mass popularity ever since, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy. He was first introduced in the game when it came to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate. And also he made an appearance in was it Marvel was it Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes. So, you know, like and now he's also in Marvel Rivals. So I can't see now I'm so used to seeing him in games. I can't see him not being in the base roster. And I think he would offer you something unique because of his size as well. And the type of gadgets and stuff that he'd be able to pull off during combat to help assist with his team. So, and plus, you know, he would also bring a unique stage with the game as well. And I would love to see his interaction with Star-Lord in the game too as well. So it says, is Emma Frost in there? Oh, we're going to have to wait and see. And then, of course, let's see who we have. Magneto. I mean, Magneto. Oh, so you say would Group B as assist? That would be interesting, but we already have a 4v4. Like, would they be able to pull off having four characters and then one character also has an assist? I don't know. So we also have Magneto. Magneto is a legacy character. I know I would like to stray away from, you know, trying to rely on the Marvel versus Capcom roster of characters and stuff. But it's almost like, you know, Magneto has to be there. You know, it wouldn't be right if he isn't in there. Now, me personally, I don't care, you know, if he's in there or not, because I was never a Magneto main. I could never play him or anything like that. But I know that there's a lot of people who have an attachment to them. And I also told everybody to get Marvel versus Capcom out of your head, because this is the Arc System Works game, and I know there's a lot of people who are picking characters and putting characters in their roster based off of their close relationship with Marvel vs. Capcom and how they remember these characters. But from what we've seen so far, none of these characters play like their Marvel vs. Capcom counterpart because it makes sense. It's Arc System work. It's not a Capcom game. So just also keep that in mind. But I just can't see now a roster without Magneto being in it. He said, I thought the Rocket Raccoon would be paired with Groot as a single character. Oh, I mean, that would definitely work. But I mean, I don't know. So of course he was the predecessor of Marvel vs. Capcom. The Marvel vs. Capcom and X-Men Children of Adam. Yo, what's up, Joe? He said I played it at Evo. It was fun. We need the Daywalker. Capcom failed to put Blade in their games. So this time, I think Blade wasn't in there because of Dante, if I can remember, in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And then the next character, he said they definitely should have the Fantastic Four. Is a 4v4. And then the next character we have Psylocke. Psylocke, this is just bias on my end. I was a Psylocke main since X-Men Children of Adams. Ever since I played it on the Sega Saturn, I got it on the Sega Saturn. And even when the games came out, when Marvel superheroes fighting game came out, I used Psylocke. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I used Psylocke. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, used Psylocke. Psylocke is one of my favorite characters, within the X-Men side of things in the Marvel universe. So I would love, out of bias, she has to be in the roster. And I would love to see how they stylized her in Arc System Works, unique stylized art style, and also her gameplay and how she'll play and what her unique button would be in the game. So it says, in regards to Groot, think back to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Yes, Psylocke, she's one of my picks. Can you guess who's my other pick? Nope, I can't guess. Because Marvel got too many characters. If the Fantastic Four is in there, then maybe the final villain is Galactus. So I'm a Psylocke main too. Best design in Marvel. Yeah, she has the best animations. Like the way she walks and moves. Her move, I just love everything about her. Also, Psylocke needs to wield that sword of hers. Yeah, I like her side blade and stuff. I don't think she should have a sword though, like an actual legitimate sword. Just stick to her side blade. The next character, Luna Snow. Luna Snow. I was first introduced to her. I think it was a mobile game that she was first conceptualized in, and I like her design. Is she a Korean pop singer or something like that? And she got snow powers, ice powers, and abilities and everything. I think she's a pretty cool character. I think she'll bring something unique to the table. As far as the roster is concerned, I know people could say, "Well, you could have put Iceman," but no, I think this will be a unique addition, unique twist as far as a character with ice abilities in a Marvel fighting game. And plus, she's more recent. People recognize her, especially because the popularity of Marvel Rivals. And I think if you want to get that Marvel Rival audience, I think it would be perfect to add her in this roster and everything. So they have to balance it out. They would have to balance it out to try to bring in that Marvel vs. Capcom crowd in there. While at the same time, they will also want to bring in some of that Marvel Rivals crowd as well. Those people are new, especially in being introduced to a lot of these Marvel characters. You said Psylocke, but she needs to wear tights and have jiggle physics randomly in her idle animation. Yeah. They definitely have to do something about that. They must bounce or I'm going to bounce. Super surprise pick. Awesome. And then the next character, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, he's another character who submitted his spot into a roster. I mean, he been around since Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and then he found his way into Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and he played such a big part in the MCU. So I know even though Marvel is allowing Arc System Work to go crazy with the game and stuff, I know they're still going to want to have them push some MCU characters. So I think Doctor Strange will be another character that could possibly be in the base roster. And because it's Arc System Works, it, like as I said before, you got to get Capcom out your head. They're not going to play like Capcom characters, like from the Versus series. This is Arc System work. So you got to think about games like BlazBlue, or BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Guilty Gear, Melty Blood, or what's the other game? Under Night Embers. You have to think about those games. That's what you have to think about. You have to think about those games in terms of the potential of how some of these characters are going to play, and some of these traits of existing Arc System games are they going to pull and give to some of these Marvel characters. So I would like to see how they will pull off their interpretation of Doctor Strange in their fighting game. So let's see what we got here. It says Emma Frost. That would be also an instant buy for me. Luna, Psylocke as well. Yeah, boy. Bro, you got to add Spider-Man in this game. Spider-Man's right there. Ant-Man. That would be unique. And you already have Spider-Man. Get Wolverine. So you cannot convince me the game won't have a base roster larger than 30. Arsenal has the most anemic roster in the fighting games. I don't know, man. This could be different because they was working on this game for a couple years now. So who knows what characters they built over time. Music group Spider-Man was already confirmed in the base roster. And Under Night Ember is published, not developed. Okay. Yo, what's up, Just Stream? What's up, Radical? Daredevil gotta be in there too. What didn't I say? Add Ultimate Spider-Man. No, Miles Morales, he should be DLC. We already got Spider-Man. We don't need Miles Morales. As far as the base roster, it just wouldn't make sense. It would be redundant. Let's see. And then my boy Juggernaut. Juggernaut's my boy, man. Like, dude, it's biased here, but Juggernaut was one of my favorite characters since the X-Men Children of Adams. I just like it. Like, it was just amazing. I remember walking into the arcades with my father, and it was the first time I saw X-Men Children of Adams, and it just blew me away how they was able to, how huge Juggernaut was, especially in a fighting game. You know, he takes up most of the screen. I was like, how is this even possible? How does this make sense in a fighting game, especially after, you know, playing Street Fighter and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fighting tournament and Mortal Kombat and everything like that. But to see Juggernaut in a 2D fighter at the size that he is, and you got to also remember, me as a kid reading the comics, being introduced to Juggernaut, you know, through the comics and the cartoon, he's not portrayed that big from what I remember. So seeing him in the actual game, I'm like, this guy is huge. So yeah, he's been one of my favorite characters that I used to pick and have fun with. I was never good with him. And he, just like how the Hulk is in the earlier 2D fighters, they weren't really good. Like they're fun to play. But I enjoyed the Juggernaut, just being a bully with him and stuff like that. And because I had a connection to Juggernaut from the cartoon, I love the character even more. So it was a shame that he never made it into, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you know, or Infinite or anything like that. He just kind of rode off into the distance and into obscurity. So I would love to see him make a return in Marvel Tokon, you know, alongside the Incredible Hulk. So we have two beefy, buff, huge characters, and I think that would be pretty cool. They already said Juggernaut. What about Miles? What about Miles Hawk? I don't know what the hell. Miles Hawk. What the fuck? Off topic. Will you make a Marvel Rivals skin tier list? I mean, if y'all want me to. I haven't kept up on any of the skins or Miles Doralis. Juggernaut was missing since Marvel's come to. Yup. Bonesaw, and he's literally just Randy Savage moveset wise. So I already said Juggernaut. What about Miles Hawk? And he said Marvel's Come 2 has the power up glitch where Juggernaut can insane damage with the head crush. Yeah. Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut. Yeah, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. That's what got Juggernaut popular for that moment from that movie. How about some Guilty Gear guest characters too, though? I mean, that would be interesting. We don't want to. I don't want them to go too crazy with that. Probably 3 at the most, as far as Guilty Gear guest characters. No more than that. No more than that. Let's see. Classic 90s Rogue is my favorite of the X-Men, but she is out for a very long time. Tough in the games. I wonder how the big characters will be in this game. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm intrigued to see how Hulk, potential Hulk and a potential Juggernaut would be. All right, the next character we have is Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four. I mean, we already have Storm as a flight character. She brings the lightning elements along with Thor, of course. So, and we have Luna Snow who brings in the ice, and then we need some Fantastic Four. We definitely need some Fantastic Four, but we definitely need a throw in another element, and that's fire. We got ice, Luna Snow for this potential roster. We got Storm, and of course Thor has the lightning as well. But now we have Johnny Storm. He's a Fantastic Four representative for the base roster, and I would love to see how he will play. Now, some people may argue, well, we already got like a flame type of character, which is Ghost Rider, but they're nothing alike. But I'm talking about like archetype likes and stuff like that. It may be found as redundant, but I think it would be pretty cool to have Johnny Storm in there, and and him going into his flight mode and doing combos in the midair and stuff, and then bring them down and carry them back down to the ground. And wonder how his assist would be and his unique button would be as well. But yeah, he earned a spot in here. I think he will be in here as well. No, keep it strictly Marvel. I do agree. If we are, it's by Odin's Fade. He said that nigga is bald. Did you read Miles Thor? No, I read. I don't do nothing. Recent Marvel. Said Nick Fury. He said the Fantastic Four is overdue for a fighting game. Here's a crazy idea: Marvel versus DC versus My Hero Academia. That shit sounds stupid. But let's see what we got. The next character, of course, Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. I mean, we never had a character who in a fighting game that has like invisible powers, and of course, she doesn't just use invisibility and stuff. She can create like force bubbles and stuff like that, and do all kinds of unique things with her abilities. And of course, as I said, she adds something unique to the roster, and it only makes sense. I mean, we are overdue for some Fantasy Four representation. And of course, Marvel been trying to push them real hard recently with the MCU, and then of course, Sue Storm is very popular and Marvel Rivals, and I would love to see the banter that she would have with her brother Johnny Storm. So I think it'll be pretty cool to have her on the roster, and who knows how her moveset will work and how it will be. And I know Arc System Work is going to design the fuck out of her. I know they are. They're going to design the fuck out of her. So I can't wait to see if she possibly makes it into the roster, how they would design her. And says it would be interesting to see how Invisible Woman would fight. Invisible Woman, I don't see her being added. Just being honest. So yeah, I hate invisibility in fighting games. It's only useful to the AI. Like I said, she don't just be invisible. She has force fields and all kinds of other stuff. Like her abilities was never really defined. The only recognizable trait about her was the fact that she's invisible. But she's one of the strongest metahumans in the Marvel Comics universe because of her abilities. You know what I'm saying? So there's things they can do with her besides being invisible. Originally Marvel's Capcom 3 wanted all the for it. That's why the villain was Galactus. Yeah. And Marvel, like, of course, they at the time the MCU was really picking up steam, and they really wanted to push the MCU at the time. And you gotta remember, Fantastic Four was owned by Fox at the time, all that other type of stuff. So they wanted to limit that as much as possible. Have you seen Hyper Dragon Ball Z Mugen? Yeah, I had the earlier builds. I got one of the Z2 characters for my animations, and okay, cool. He said, what kind of banter do you see the Storm siblings having? I don't know. It'll be unique. I'm just looking forward to the banter in general. between the characters, especially when you pair them up on teams or when they go against each other. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm so glad this is either going to be the final boss again over a secondary boss. Oh, that's right, Violet, like Violet. Super Scroll was designed to have all four to save the roster space. Yep, that was the purpose. If she turns invisible, then she can't do any damage, but she can take can't take damage too. Is a good repositioning tool if you do it right. It's not overpowered and it's fun. Sue can also create constructs. Yeah, so she's a powerful character. So people only recognize her because she's the invisible woman, and that's the thing that can constantly push. But she does a lot of other things. That's what, like I said, she's deemed one of the most powerful metahumans in Marvel Comics. That's why when they Reed Richards and Sue Storm, their child is OP. Let's see. Blade. We gotta have Blade in there, man. Like it's been long overdue. Long overdue. Blade needs to be in his roster. It would be criminal for him to not be in the base roster. It just wouldn't make sense at this point. At this point, I would think it's intentional. Like, yeah, he can be DLC, but it'd be kind of crazy if he doesn't even be in the game at all, not even including DLC. But no, Blade has too much. He has too much demand at this point. He can no longer be ignored. He can no longer be ignored at this point. And I can only imagine what Arc System Works can do with Blade, especially what's that samurai dude in Guilty Gear Strive, the black dude. You know, they already have like a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? They already have something they can do. So I was just thinking it'd be at this point, it's just you can't deny Blade in his existence. You cannot. You just simply cannot deny him. So yeah, I'm looking. I would love to see what they do with him. All right, let's see what we have. He said extreme. Oh yeah, that's right. I do recall Human Torch was in Marvel's Day on 3 early development, but him constantly being on fire took too much console RAM. Yep, that's true. Has everybody forgot Cable? Marvel baby. Yo, what's up, Derby? Long time no see, bro, man. Welcome to the stream. And then next character, Iron Fist. Now, I want Iron Fist in here is because he will be technically our Street Fighter character, or like technically, because everybody else got all these unique powers, unorthodox fighting styles and stuff like that. He will legitimately be our Ryu in this game. He would legitimately be that. I would love for him to be in this game. Thanks, Derby. Technically, if Magneto power was actually a magnetism in all forms, he should be able to turn invisible and do everything Sue Storm is doing. Makes sense. You said the character you're thinking from Guilty Gear. Yep. Yeah. So I truly believe that Iron Fist will be perfect for this roster. I would love to see what Arc System Works would do with him. And as I said before, he would be pretty much the Ryu of the game. I don't know. I don't really care which Iron Fist. Really, I really don't care which Iron Fist. Danny Rand or now I've got an Asian Iron Fist now, so it doesn't matter to me. Like I just want Iron Fist in this game. I just want Iron Fist in here. Iron Fist wasn't I really didn't like Iron Fist too much in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Was it? Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But I think I would love to see how he would play in Arc System Work style. So that's what I'm looking forward to. His air combos will probably be sick as well. So yeah, definitely I would love to see him in the roster. And then the next character, Wolverine. We gotta you can't have a Marvel roster, especially a base roster, without Wolverine. Wolverine has to be in this game. Let's go, bub. We gotta have him in here. We gotta have him in here. He said, "You mean Marvel Ultimate Alliance? Marvel Ultimate? Yeah. Marvel Capcom 3. Wolverine's always a must. Yeah, definitely. He's always a must. He's always a must. You can't have him in there. He wasn't in Infinite, which was a bummer, and they paid Capcom suffer the consequences. But that wasn't really Capcom's fault. That was more so Marvel's fault. I mean, a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was Marvel's fault, but you can't have a roster without him. If Photonic powers is Photon, then he should be stronger than Magneto. True. So you can't have a Marvel fighting game without Wolverine. You can't. And then the next character is Captain Marvel. I know some of you guys say why. I think Captain Marvel, I think she's another character that I like I said, I like Carol Danvers, the original Miss Marvel, but she's not Miss Marvel. She's Captain Marvel now. But remember, we're dealing with Japanese developers. We're not going to get the Carol Danvers that, you know, the West, that Marvel Comics and Marvel Studios, the MCU has created. We're getting a Japanese interpretation of Carol Danvers. I mean, they've done a good job with her in Marvel's Infinite. They've done a good job with her with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. She's one of my favorite choices in the game. And it just makes sense, like, to have her in there in the roster. She has to be in the roster. And I was a Captain Marvel main in Marvel's Infinite. So, I mean, it just makes sense. She's an event. She's an Avenger. She, you know, she also represents the cosmic side of, you know, the Marvel side of things. So having her in the roster and knowing the fact is that, you know, Arcs and Work is going to design the fuck out of her. Yeah, I would love to see her in the roster. And then if she has and like I said, if they eventually do alternate costumes, which I think it would be pretty cool, give her Miss Marvel costume. I just think that'd be awesome. Yeah, she was likable. She was likable in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. What about Black Panther? Well, you have to wait and see. Captain Marvel needs her time. It said not the Brie Larson version. Fuck that version. Oh, what's that ruined? It's all good. It was both Marvel and Disney fault. Yep. And then let's see the next character. Daredevil. Daredevil's long overdue as well as Blade. You can't continue to move on and create Marvel properties, create games based on Marvel properties, especially more specifically we're talking about here, it's fighting games, and you still not have Daredevil as a playable character. That is just criminal. The same way with Blade, the same way with Punisher. You cannot have a Marvel fighting game and not have either of those three in there. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So I would love to see the fighting style and the unique gameplay with his Billy Club, how and if he can swing around and stuff with him as well, that unique gameplay, you know, that he will bring to the table in a potential, you know, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls roster. I just think you have to have him at some point. Even if he doesn't make it in the base roster, at least have him as DLC. At least have him as DLC. And then, of course, we have Deadpool. I mean, he's undeniable. He was in the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 series. So it just wouldn't make sense to not have Deadpool in the game. Deadpool is super crazy popular, especially when it comes to the MCU, comes to Ryan Reynolds' interpretation of the character, especially after the big success of Deadpool and Wolverine. You cannot not have him in a Marvel roster, especially for a fighting game. It just doesn't. It wouldn't make sense not to have him. So yeah, Deadpool makes the cut. Is that the Marvel Capcom universe actually started with the Punisher? What do you mean? Is that yeah? I like Carol Danvers. I was just pissed with the movie. I was really hyped for it when it was announced. They had one job to make it good. But no, Deadpool highly popular. Yup. And then, of course, we have Black Panther. Black Panther is in the roster. I repeat, Black Panther is in the roster. Like, he's another character that has to be in the roster, in my personal opinion, or has to be in the fighting game. I mean, his first appearance was in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite as far as fighting games are concerned. He was also pretty cool in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 as well. Was Capcom's first. Oh, he said Marvel. Okay, I got what you're saying. I got you. Said Onslaught instead of Magneto will be favorite. He'd be too OP. Onslaught would just be a boss, if anything. But yeah, Black Panther would have to be in there, and I would love to see his interaction with Storm, since in the comics they were married at one point. I haven't followed that arc or anything like that, but I know because I've been seeing a lot of it back then when it first happened and stuff, and everybody was talking about it within the comic book space at the time before the MCU blew up. But yeah, I would love to see how that would work and how they would interact with one another as well. And what's up, Knight of Nair? What's going on? And the final character is, let's see, Nova. Nova is the final. Nova is the final. Is my final choice. For the roster. Nova is one of my favorite characters. He's another character. I was a Nova main in the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 series as well. I would love to see the young version, like the young version of him in there. It's a thing. And Reed Richards. Oh yeah. So yeah, I have to leave him out. Like, if I added them two in there, then I have to knock one of them off the list. I think the Thing and Reed Richards should be DLC. And the reason why I didn't put Reed Richards in here most of all is because Miss Marvel. She has the stretchy Sam Alexander. I like Sam Alexander's design. I really do. So I like to see a Sam Alexander Nova. That's why I put Nova in there. The reason why I left Reed Richards out because we have Miss Marvel. Now I know they're not the same, but Miss Marvel got the stretchy limbs and everything like that. And I think that even though that Reed Richards can form different shapes with his stretch abilities, we already got a stretch character. So to me, that'd just be redundant to have him in the base roster when you already have Miss Marvel in the base roster. That's why I left him out. I left the Thing out is because we already have Credible Hulk and we already have Juggernaut. We don't need another big guy in the base roster. But I do have him as my DLC suggestion for DLC. Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, and also Ben Grimm, the Thing, as DLC. They will be DLC. Yeah, I can. So the reason why I chose Sue Storm and Human Torch because I think they're the most unique for the roster, for a starting roster. I think they're the most. They bring something different to each other, like as far as the crew is concerned, against the roster itself. You know, Sue Storm, her abilities, and then you have a flame character, which is Johnny Storm. But it just wouldn't make sense to throw Reed Richards in there. So I can foresee the Thing and Human Torch as the only two of the Fantastic Four added in the game. Yeah, well, if anything, I think those two will probably be the only ones that will probably make it to the game more than anything. But as far as my choice is concerned, as far as the base roster, I think Sue Storm and Human Torch would be a perfect candidates for the base roster, and then Thing and also Mr. Fantastic as DLC. Yeah, but I know he's small compared to them, but he's still the buff guy. He's still the buff archetype. He's still the buff archetype compared to this roster up here. But so yeah, this is my roster. And if I can at least get 3 of them out of this roster, like the ones I really want in this roster, though, to be honest and be truthful with you guys, is it full time for DLC? Somebody write a petition. and the reason why, for me, this roster right here, like who I really would like if anything, I want Magic, I want Psylocke, I want Blade, and I do want Iron Fist and Juggernaut. More like, if anything, out of that, if anything, please at least give me one, like 3 out of those. At least give me at least one of the like 3 out of that selection. Yeah, I think so too. The thing is, you got to remember, man, I'm trying to limit as many X-Men characters as possible for the base roster because people love X-Men. And the thing is, if you're a Marvel versus Capcom fan or you're just a Marvel fan of the 2D fighters, your whole roster, this whole roster would be X-Men. Then it wouldn't be Marvel Tokon. It would just be X-Men Tokon. So I'm trying to limit as many Marvel characters and save some of them for DLC. Like, for instance, I would love to have Cyclops as DLC, Gambit as DLC, you know? But if you leave it to fans, this whole roster will be X-Men. No, I don't really play it like that. Well, Iceman, like I said, the reason why I have Iceman kind of Luna Snow on the roster. I have Luna Snow in the roster, but yeah, if we leave it, if we left it to fans would fill the whole roster up with X-Men. So not the gay one, straight Iceman, please. Of course, he has to be straight. But as I said before, if you leave it to fans will only pick X-Men. The whole roster would be X-Men. What about Venom and Carnage? Well, I already have Venom up here. Venom's right here. Carnage probably DLC, but we don't need too many symbiote characters. I mean, you know, like as far as DLC, we can get Reed Richards, we can get the Thing, we can get Cyclops, maybe throw some Gambit in there. I would say Rogue, but the thing about Rogue is, if we going by the 90s Rogue had stole Captain Marvel's power or Miss Marvel's power. We already got Captain Marvel in there. Do we need Rogue? I would like Rogue, and I know Arkston Work will design the fuck out of her. So Rogue is kind of like debatable for me. I would love for her to be a DLC, but if we're going to have Captain Marvel in there, do we need Rogue? You get what I'm saying? No, I didn't plan anything as far as DLC. We're just talking about the base roster. We can do a DLC stream, like how I would do DLC for Marvel Tokon at some point. He said those Photonic had the same moveset as Nova then. You have to wait and see. When you go to my website and look at Photonic, it does list some of the things it can do. Like I said, he can absorb photons. He can store it. He can store it in him, and the more he stores, it messes with his eyesight where he can't see. And he also got a discharge too. He can't bottle it up for too long as well. So he also has to discharge the photons. But yeah, the more he absorbs, and he always got to keep some stored in him in case of emergencies. And he also has a photon layer that you can't see. So that's what protects him from like if he fighting like heavy hitters and stuff like that. That's his last line of defense or whatever. And when he goes completely low, that's when it fades out. That's when he loses that barrier, that little photon barrier shield that protects him, that reduces some of the damage and stuff like that he receives. His photonics visor is also a receiver that also help manage the photons and stuff like that as well. And it also gives him it also tells him what where his how much he has stored in him and the level, because the more he charges also gives him his photon level and stuff, and what type of constructs, light constructs, photon constructs he can make based on how much he has charged and stuff like that. But like I said before, when he's fully charged, his eyes is filled with photon. He can't even see or whatever like that, but he's extremely powerful. But there's something, there's an advantage when he's fully charged that can be taken advantage of, but it requires his girlfriend, Cerebra, Mela, who's the redhead in the team. And I won't spoil what she does when he to exploit that power when they get into a jam or whatever like that. Okay. Also, I will want Rogue to see her kissing people. Rouge is a great choice. Kisses you while sticking her butt towards the screen. She needs to be caked. Well, yeah, this is my roster. What about you guys? What kind of roster would you guys build? What would your choices be as far as characters and everything are concerned? That's what I'm interested in, because I know a lot of you guys got some characters in mind for your Marvel Tokon roster. But overall, man, I'm looking forward to this game. I really pray to God that I get selected to be in the closed beta, because I really want to play this game. I want to capture some gameplay. I want to make some content about it. He said, "Oh yeah, I think the more obscure characters would probably be DLC. I think that'd be an opportunity for them to shine. I was gonna pick Shuma Gorath at one point, because I was a Shuma Gorath fan main in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 series. He was in one of my teams. It all depends on the number of characters added. Yeah, so this is a 30 character roster. So, you have to strategically pick what characters make it in there. That's why I said it's what makes sense to throw all 4 Fantastic Four in there, especially for a roster this size. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and that the character fits into the fighting game meta more. So make sure they bring something unique. Yeah. Exactly. I think that's what's going to be so interesting about Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, is the fact is that with the unique button that's added to the game, that's part of the mechanics of the game, every character doesn't feel the same. They all play different. And the other reason why the characters have a chance to be more expressive and have more identity and don't feel universal across the board is because the game is really a 1v1 fighter. It's not really a team fighter, really. So since the game is more so treated as a 1v1 fighter with assist, you have to flesh out the roster even more. Because when a true versus game, if you think about a true versus game. Most of the time, true versus games, the movesets are stripped down. The button layout is stripped down. It's more accessible, but it has more depth to it. But when you think about a versus game, the moveset is stripped down. The button layout and everything is stripped down, because they had to add the assist in there, the tag button, the special button, and stuff like that. So it more so focuses on the synergy of your team in versus games, rather than the move set, giving them a complete move set. It's more so about the synergy and you tagging in and out to perform combos and air combos and floor to corner carry and touch of deaths and stuff like that. But with Marvel Tokon, the characters feel more they feel more like individuals, and they have more to them and more uniqueness to them, because this game is actually technically a 1v1. I think 20 is already a lot for this. Well, and yes, 20 would be a lot if you look at it from a framework of a 1v1. But if you look at a framework for a 4v4, then that's not really a lot of characters. It's rather false advertising to be said is a 4v4 when it's not. Yeah, it's kind of well, I wouldn't say false advertisement, because technically it still is a 4v4. Technically, it still is. It still has traits of a tag, but it's at the same time, it's like a hybrid. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. But then I thought about it, and the more and more I think over it, I love my tag games, but I'm not really good at them. They become stressful. Got to keep in mind all the characters and stuff like that. And the fact is that it is somewhat of a 1v1. I can focus on one character while at the same time I have the luxury of still tagging in some of my favorite Marvel characters and stuff like that. But as I said before, we're only speculating right now because we still don't truly know how the mechanics fully works. until we actually see more hands-on, especially when people get their play the closed beta, and especially when we start to see more characters, more playtime, at different events and stuff, and we start seeing professional, high-level play. Then we'll definitely know whether or not if it's truly a 1v1 or if it's a hybrid of 1v1 and a tag game. We'll definitely see how it actually plays and how the character tag mechanics actually falls and how it actually plays into the overall scheme of things. He said Iron Man looks like a Gundam in this. Yeah, Iron Man looks dope. Now, moving my wish list of characters aside and just going off of the 8 characters so far that was revealed, what characters within those 8 that I would want to play? Like my eyes are on Captain America, Miss Marvel, and Iron Man. Those are the 3 characters that my I feel like I pick a 4th character too. And I will probably throw in Spider-Man probably. I would try Storm, but I don't think Storm is actually like I was never good at Storm even in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. But I have a feeling that Storm probably not even going to be my play style and stuff like that. So yes, Miss Marvel, Iron Man, and Captain America, and I'll try Storm. From looking at the characters that's revealed so far, that's what I'll go with. But this is a game that, like, I don't know. It started having me think about fighting games again. I've never been this excited for a fighting game in a long time. Ever since this game was revealed. Like, you guys saw my reaction to State of Play when it was revealed. I was losing my shit in this room. I was losing my mind. I was losing my mind. Excuse me. Ugh. He says, who's the best looking character of the roster so far? Of the base roster? That's a good question. Best looking, if I was to rank, I'll be sitting all day trying to think about that. Storm is just beautiful, dog. Storm is just beautiful. But as far as best looking, it would be Storm best looking. Love her design. But Captain America is my boy. Captain America design, man, is dope in this damn game. And Iron Man, everybody is dope in this damn game, man. Miss Marvel's adorable. Yeah, like DX Strike was also excited seeing he's buying the game day one. Yeah, we like this is a day one buy. Even though I know I'm gonna get destroyed in this game, and I don't care. This game needs to be part of my fighting game collection. It has to be part of my collection. I have to play this game. There's nothing else there's nothing else to be said. I have to play this game. I have to. It's that simple. So I'm looking forward to see, what the rest of the roster is going to be. I mean, the sky's the limit. The Marvel universe is vast. It's so many characters they can play with. And like I said, these are Japanese developers. So it's guaranteed to be some obscure character that's going to make it in the roster. It's Japan. They always like the obscure shit. So we're bound to see an obscure character or 2, or maybe 3 even, to make it in this roster. He said the devs cooked with Marvel Tokon designs. Yes, they did. Was Skill Answer also stoked? Yeah, he's getting the game too. We all signed up for the beta. None of us got selected yet. Hella, I was going to put Hella in this roster, the base roster, but I do have her as a choice for DLC though. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to, man. This game really has me excited, man. I haven't played a fighting game in a long time, man. Like I said, I've been so focused with Orion Comics. I haven't been doing any gaming for quite some time, man. I haven't touched my PS5. The only thing I do turn on is my Xbox Series X, and it's not even to play games. That's just to watch YouTube while I'm doing videos. Or watch Netflix animes and stuff like that. Spider-Gwen, it's probably DLC, or and Gwenpool potential DLC. I mean, like I said, the Japanese would do these 3 would do them justice. Gwenpool and Spider-Gwen. would do them two characters justice. But it's been a long time since I've been excited for a fighting game. I haven't touched any fighting games in a while. Well, I did play a fight. I played Street Fighter 6 at the arcade at where I live in Philly. It was at the gallery. I went to the gallery. And I was surprised. They had a whole fighting game section. It wasn't there. That wasn't there before when I first went. And when I went there, they had it there. They had Street Fighter 6 there in the arcade. So that's the first time I played a fighting game in a while. And I picked Jory. Yeah, congrats, man. I didn't get invited at all. Like everybody, there's a lot of people even in my Discord that got invited, but me. It always happens this way. Everybody I knew around me got invited, but me. So they made the new Miss Marvel not ugly. Yeah. I hope NetEase games collab with Arc System to make alternate costumes in English. No, like it's going to have English voice acting. It's going to have English voice acting. They only had Japanese voice acting because the game is in development. And they probably keeping that hush of who's doing the voices. There's no way they're releasing this and it's only Japanese. That was just for the trailer. It was an early trailer and earlier build of the game. We're going to get English voice acting. It's the Spider-Man member will be alternate skins. So I wanted to see Satana. Yeah, so that's my whole outlook on this. And if I do get in it, man, I'll be so happy, man. I really want to play this game so much. I truly do. I truly do. I'm really looking forward to this game. This game here. The excitement I had for this game is the same excitement I first had when Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was announced. That's how excited I am. It felt like it couldn't get here fast enough. It felt like I couldn't get here fast enough, man. It looks amazing. I'm going to check it out sometime. Good story. Can't forget that women. Can't see. Got reviews on this channel. That's good, man. Everybody's looking forward to that. Yeah, so that's my whole outlook on this entire thing as far as the roster for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. But I definitely want to know what your thoughts are. Especially after this goes up in the archives. Leave your thoughts in the comments on the archive of the stream itself. I'd love to see what your roster would be, how it stacks up to mine, and everything like that. Because I know you guys want probably some good choices too. Mine's is pretty safe. Excited for fighting. Come on, Landis. Oh, come on, man. I don't want to think about that, bro. I was so hyped. Like I was so hyped. You can see my reaction to that shit. I was so hyped for Jump Force when they first announced it, because like I said, I like J-Star's Victory Versus. That was a fun team game. The game's not really like on like a foundational gameplay thing. It's not really that good, but it's actually fun when you actually communicate as a team with your teammate and just have fun, just shit around and stuff like that. So when they announced Jump Force, man, I was so excited for that damn game. And then you later found out it was a 1v1 with, tag in and stuff like that. And then the animations was ass. The game, but I was upset. The biggest disappointment. So it's the truth, though. Yeah, man. I when I say I was disappointed, man, I was disappointed in that damn game. I truly was. But just like how Xenoblade Chronicles 2 reinvigorated my love for JRPGs, because like I said, I stopped playing JRPGs for a long time because at the time I was in college, finishing up college, and getting my life together. After me and my baby mom broke up, and me taking care of my daughter and stuff. So I haven't really had time. So I was more engrossed in fighting games. So I spent more time playing fighting games because they're quick play sessions. I can pick up the controller, play it, put it down, and get back to my, my college work and stuff like that. But it was Xenoblade Chronicles 2. They reinvigorated my love, for it. And now I look at Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. This is also a game that I'm really truly looking forward to, and this may be the thing that really reinvigorate my love for fighting games, since I've been so out of it for quite some time. Like I said before, I'm getting back into fighting games, and I already said that maybe before even Tokon Fighting Souls come out, I'm considering Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising to be my main fighter. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, because I did enjoy when it came to the Arc System games. I think out of all of them, I found myself really engrossed and really enjoying Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, not Rising, because I ain't had Rising. The Rising didn't come out yet. But from what I played of Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, I enjoyed it. And then after playing Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, it gave me attachment to the characters even more. So I have Rising. It's on I bought it day one. I just haven't installed it on my Steam. So I'm definitely going to get into playing it, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus at some point or whatever like that. But I'm really going to be playing more games after I get. Right now, me and my artist, Jessica, right now, she's working on other commissions. So we won't be starting on chapter 2, developing the pages and everything. Well, before we even develop the pages, she has to create all the assets and resources. Because if you don't know, my artist, Jessica, she uses both her drawing, and she also used 3D. Assets and stuff like that, and she's an architect, so she creates a lot of 3D assets and environments and stuff like that, to create the comic and stuff like that. So she first has to build the locations of where the characters are going to be in VK chapter 2. So she has to build that first. So technically we'll be working on locations first, building the locations this month, and then October we actually going to start doing the developing the pages for Varion Keller's Vampire Killers chapter 2. So yeah, man. So once we start developing, getting the assets ready, the environments and the locations ready, I can finally say, hey, let me pull away, because I don't have to do no more writing for a little bit. Everything is done. I can move on, and I can actually start playing video games for a bit. And all I have to do is work on marketing Venus Orion Comics for a little bit, instead of me sitting down and constantly writing scripts and constantly putting things together. I can just focus on marketing and promoting while she's working, drawing the comic and stuff like that. So now I have more time away. I can actually play some games. I am working on my Grand Blue Fantasy Relink review for the channel. It should be ready next week. So it should be up on the channel next week. So you guys get to hear my thoughts and opinions on the Grand Blue Fantasy Relink experience and me playing it and stuff like that. Let's see. So Bakil Lancer said you and him was playing it and you loved it. Yeah, we played it and we love certain aspects. Like I said, we were shitting around with it because I caught it on sale for $10. So I bought Strike a copy of Jump Force. I bought my brother's Kyo, and then my brothers told their friends. So we had a group session to be able to play it. So we did have some entertainment with it, but it's still not one of my favorite ones. Like I still play J-Star Victory Versus. We haven't touched Jump Force since. 2KXO may be my main fighting game. It'll hold me over tomorrow. Isn't it free to play? So I'm definitely gonna try that. There's gonna be a lot of fiends in that damn game. I know I'm gonna get destroyed in that game. But yeah, man, overall, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But this pretty much wraps the stream up for tonight. This wasn't gonna be a long stream. I gotta get back to VK some more and stuff like that. And also there's no stream on Friday. There will be a stream on Saturday because my hairstylist hit me up and she'll be available to do my hair on Friday. So I won't be able to stream on Friday. So we'll get to streaming on Saturday. We'll be streaming on Saturday. My first game stream is going to be Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. And hopefully you guys pick up the game so you guys can play with us, with me, Strike, and Kyo. I think it'll be pretty fun to have you guys have a lobby with you guys and everything. We all can play together, have some fun. So that'll be the first gaming stream in a very long time. And it was changed because of the MCU hype. Yeah, it was. But yeah, that pretty much wraps this up. And as I said before, if you guys want to support Venus Orion Comics in any way as possible, you can definitely pick up a comic from my website at venusorioncomics.com. Or as I said before, you can donate to my PayPal as well for my Mugen Lord PayPal. So as I said, that will also help with Venus Orion Comics, because I can take that and put that towards the development of the comic. And also, like I said, I actually use voice actors, when it comes to my trailers, for my campaigns and stuff like that. I'm looking for definitive voices for my characters in, the Venus Orion Comics universe. So when I did my VK trailer, the first trailer, when I did the first trailer for VK, I paid voice actors for that out of my own pocket. So they'll alleviate some of that too. With your support, I'm able to pay the voice actors, and it'll also be able to help me promote and create promotional material for you guys to enjoy as far as Venus Orion Comics. And I also take that money and put it towards the comics development, the page development as well. So it depends on the size of the script. I pay by line count or whatever like that. I pay by line count, or if I am approaching an actual voice actor, whatever their rates are, or whatever. But most of them that was interested, because I do casting call, and everybody can try. If you want to be a voice actor, all you need is Audacity, and you need a good mic. You can try out for it. I will do casting calls as well. So all you guys can have a chance. If you guys want to do voice acting for Venus Orion Comics, you can give it a try when I do the casting call. So I'm not just looking. I'm looking for indie voice actors, and just anybody. So and you will get paid. And like I said, if the script is small, don't expect a big amount. If the script is super small, especially when it's only for trailers. Like some people may have like 2 lines of dialogue or something like that, and everything. So don't expect a super amount of money, especially when you're only saying like 2 lines or maybe 3 lines. But it adds up when I'm hiring a bunch of people that's saying 2 and 3 lines and stuff like that. That stuff adds up. Yeah. So if you're interested in that, definitely be on the lookout when I do the casting call. Check out Studios still if you're looking for voice actors. They even have a Discord server. Thanks for that. I'll definitely look into that. But yeah, so if you're looking to show some support, it helps in any way. Either you buy a comic or buy merch, or as I said before, even if you're not into comics and you just want to show some support, you can just donate to my PayPal. Or if you want to see what Venus Orion Comics is about, just get the $5 digital comic of Orion Colors Vampire Killers, VK Chapter 1, to give it a try. And if you see potential in it, then go ahead. Like that's another another fan. Another reader of Venus Orion Comics. I think that'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, so that pretty much wraps everything up for tonight, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream for my Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls wish list roster. And stay tuned for Saturday. We're gonna have our Mugen, our late night Mugen talk. We're gonna talk about the Raja Jackson, in my opinion, on that whole situation. And talk about other things. Like I said, we talk about serious. I like talking serious stuff and shooting the shit with you guys. So you guys have a good night, and I'll be seeing you Game Fiends later. Peace out.